Ryan Jarrell here for MMA News, and my next guest will be back in action on February the 10th at UFC Vegas 86 when he takes on Marcin Prachnio. And of course, it is the Brown Bear himself, Devin Clark, on the show. Devin, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. Always great to talk to you. And I do see that you spent the New Year's hiking the mountains. I think you hit what, four peaks? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a loop out here in Colorado called the Decalibron. It's four different peaks all in one hike, I guess, or one climb. Yeah, it was about 10 miles and it took us 7 hours. We were moving a little slow. My roommate John Kudeman, he's done all like 50 something 14,000 foot mountains in Colorado. So he's like super fast. I'm trying to catch up with him, or keep up with him, and just not used to it. But it was really good. I was able to push myself mentally and physically. Being at that high of altitude for that long, if you're not used to it, it really gets you. So I got a little bit of altitude sickness, but I was able to finish the hike and felt good about myself. And it's great cardio too, great conditioning.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cardio must be amazing. Can you kind of compare it to a specific moment in a fight you've been in where you're tired and you're like, oh man, this kind of is similar?
Yeah, probably like Alonzo Menningfield fight, when I was all busted up and it was just pure, just go, move
Yeah.
forward. And I was just like I was exhausted, but it didn't matter. I was like, I'm finishing this fight. I'm gonna win this fight.
So
That's kind of how it was on the mountain too. Like one step at a time. Let's win this mountain.
yeah, no doubt, man. So I'm assuming, being in Colorado, this is probably something that you'll continue to do moving forward.
Yeah, I'll probably get at least one or two more in before the fight. So it just puts me in a really good mental space.
Mm.
And you're already up there. So once you're committed and you got to go.
What's the temperature like when you get up to the top?
Like that day it was pretty warm. And it was probably like 10 degrees or whatever, but there wasn't much wind that day, so it was really good. But it can be pretty cold, so definitely have to um know know how many layers and stuff to put on, and you don't want to put too many layers on. You don't want to sweat because when you start sweating too much and then you cool down and you start freezing pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's kind of a lot goes into it.
I'm from Maine, man, so I know all about it. The wind, that's what will get you. It'll like cut right to the bone.
Yeah, the wind's huge. And like, so we tried that about 2 years ago. Me, John Kuhneman, and then another guy, and we didn't get through it. We got a mile and a half in, we had to turn around. All our water froze, and we went on the worst day you could possibly go. It was like negative 50 degrees. The wind was up. Like it was just, we probably would have died if we would have tried to keep going.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing you didn't, man. Well, I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. So I wanted to start with that. And it's hard to believe that it's already 2024. Do you have any specific goals that you set out for yourself that you want to accomplish here, whether it's just career or personally here for this calendar year?
Yeah, I want to be successful. That's my goal. Pretty simple. Be successful in everything that I'm doing. That includes the fighting, being a dad and a husband, everything like that. Friend, uh, business person. I have like a small handyman business. Try to, get that under control a little bit more and get stuff going there. Um, but yeah, just be successful and follow through with things. That's my goal this year.
It's a good goal to have. And I know for me personally, the older that I get, the more, I don't know, sentimental I can be and the more I value, I guess, the important things in life. And I know you're a family man. I'm just curious, how that ties into your career as you're getting older. Like, do you value the work ethic even more so now because you're going to be providing for your family, long term with what you're doing now? Like, can you kind of run me through like how you process that?
It's kind of a hard thing, and I don't know if I have to lie to myself sometimes or not, but I truly believe that uh, I can't walk away from this sport without proven to myself that I can be successful and actually be successful doing this. I've been in the UFC almost 7 years now. Um, and I've made some strides, but I need to finish. I need to finish and follow through. Um, and some days it's like, is this even worth it? I'm away from my family right now in training and fight camp. And that's a couple times a year I do that. So it's a lot of time away. It, it sometimes it really gets to me, and I have to sit down and think like, is this really worth it for myself and my daughter and my wife? That can make things hard on us. Am I being neglectful? Am I being selfish? Stuff like that. Uh, but one thing that we tell my daughter, if you start something, you try to finish it. Um, and that's what I have to do. Uh, and I think that will make me a better man at the end of the day. This is something that I was born to do. It's a God-given gift. Not everybody can do this fighting thing, and I've told people that before. They ask me why do I fight or how can I fight? It's because I can.
Yeah.
Literally because I can. I have the physicality and the mentality to do it and to be really good at it. I've been at the highest level for years now. I think I'm going on like my 17th fight or something like that, 17th or 18th fight in the UFC, and that's crazy. I just figured that out. My manager told me that earlier this year, and I'm like, or before this fight, and I'm like, that's crazy. Time flies quick, so I just got to make the most of it while I'm here.
Yeah, no doubt about that, man. Love that answer. What is your current contractual status with the UFC?
I have one more fight on my contract. So this is the last fight on my fourth or fourth fight contract.
Okay. Do you feel that? Do you feel that pressure going into this fight to go in there and really put on a good performance?
Yeah, I'll of course. And that's something I've dealt with too. I perform a lot better on the last like fight or two in my contract versus like the first or second fight, and that's something that I have to fix on my next contract.
Mhm.
Is no more losses. We have to win. I am getting older. This could be the start of my end of my career. I'm trying not to let it be. I'm feeling really good right now, and I'm progressing, and I can feel it, and stuff's starting to click. Um, so yeah, we're just gonna keep on moving forward, and whatever whatever happens. But I'm gonna give it my all.
You fully expect to re-sign with the UFC though, right? Like that's the plan.
Yeah, yeah, and I know a lot of guys now. They're like, you know, re-signing with the UFC. And this is guys that are in the UFC. Re-signing with the UFC isn't that important, but I set a goal a long time ago to be a UFC champion, and I want to try to see that through. And it's the best promotion out there. It's the biggest promotion. It has the best fighters. It Why wouldn't I want to
Mhm.
re-sign with them?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I want to talk a little bit about, your loss to Kennedy and Juku. I talked to Dustin Jacoby before he fought him, and I mean, all you guys are massive, but something about that guy, he's huge, and then he's got the hair that stands up. He looks like an absolute monster in there. What
Mhm.
what was it like for you going into that fight? Like, how confident did you feel with his skill set versus obviously what you bring to the table?
I felt really good. And I had no reason to feel otherwise. I had just fought Jung before that, and I think they're about an inch apart. So at the end of the day, I mean, Kennedy has a longer reach for sure, but at the end of the day, the height and looking across the cage at him, it's for whatever reason they get a lot smaller when you're across from him. When you're looking at him on TV or um, even like across the room, but we're in the cage or we're facing off. They don't, it's just another man. So they don't seem that big when you're up close to them and when you want to rip their head off. Uh, but he didn't surprise me too much. I kind of lost that fight, just got a little bit unfocused. I hurt him real bad, and I heard the crowd going, and my mind just went crazy. I'm like, oh, let me finish him. Just throwing elbows like an idiot, and end up gassing myself out for a second. Then he got me on the cage and landed some good elbows that hurt me, and one thing led to another.
Mhm. Do you think if you looking back at it now, if you paced yourself and maybe didn't rush the finish, that ultimately maybe you could have got him out of there?
100%, 100%. I would have definitely would have won that fight. Um, I got a little knockout hungry. I easily could have kept him on the cage, tire him out, caught my breath even a little bit if I wanted to, took him down, and then it would have went to the next round and it would have been a similar thing. He would have been worried about that shot, stuff like that. Uh, so it's always easier in hindsight, though,
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
you're looking back. But he's a good fighter, and he's got that physicality. He's a big person. He's smart, super nice guy.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it was it's a loss is a loss.
Is that one you hope to run back maybe down the line?
Not necessarily. If it happens, it happens. There's other ones that I'd rather run back. I'd like another shot at Anthony Smith. That'd be a good one. Also super good guy. Um, I was unfocused when I fought him as well, and so that's one. Maybe Ian Kutalaba.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't Alexander Rakic. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody that's in the fucking top 15, I'll rematch them right now.
Yeah.
And it's there's quite a few of them.
Yeah, the 205 division is stacked. There's so many fantastic fighters at the top. What's
Hmm.
your opinion on? There's been reports that nothing's been confirmed, but obviously Pereira is the champ, and it looks like maybe UFC 300 Izzy could skip the line and fight him for the title. As a legit 205 or someone that's been in the division for a while now, does that upset you? Do you feel like he should get that next shot at him?
For me, it doesn't matter. I could see guys that are up there in the top five that would be pissed. But for me, no skin off my back. I'm some fights away from even being in that conversation. And hopefully I am in that conversation one day. But it's definitely not right now. I got to earn that. Izzy's earned his shit. I mean, he's been champion. You know I know it was at 85 and he came up to 205 and lost, but he put it on the line. He's a great fighter, and he's the type of guy that does know how to adjust, and that's always a good fight, anyways.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that fight.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see the trilogy. I just wonder, guys in your division, and that makes sense. Obviously, if you were a top five fighter, that might change your opinion a little bit more, right? But I
Yeah.
think the fans would love to see that trilogy fight. If or what
Oh,
this was
for
the
sure.
fourth one. They fought so
Yeah.
many times now; it's tough to keep track.
Right.
If everyone was healthy right now, Devin, and you could pick the best 205er on the planet. Pereira's there, Jamal Hill. It's hypothetically speaking, he's healthy. Prohaska, Ankalaev, all these guys. Who do you think is the best out of all of them right now?
Alexander Rakic.
Okay.
He's he's been out a while from injury, but people sleep on him. That dude is. I've been in the cage with him. Um, he's strong. He's dedicated. He's got great striking, and he's really worked his wrestling, and you could you could feel it. And that was years ago we fought, and I know he's gotten better, but um, I think Rakic he's on his way to be champion for sure.
Okay. I love that answer. So you think there's maybe like four or five guys there at the top that legitimately any one of them could have the belt?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I think the light heavyweight division is pretty tough. I don't know what other people think, but I know for a fact these dudes have whooped my ass before, so I gotta give them my respect.
Yeah, man. No doubt. The 205 division, one of my favorite ones in the sport, no doubt. Tell me how camp has been so far. I saw, you just posted a picture. Curtis Blades was in the photo. So you got a bunch of killers around you, man. Tell me how it's been so far.
Really good, really good. Before camp started, I actually did some wrestling with University of Augustana in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's how I kind of prepped for my camp, and I grew up a wrestler. I started wrestling when I was 7 years old, and I won state and high school and JUCO national champ, stuff like that. Then I transitioned into MMA, and it's interesting. the stuff that I lost along my MMA journey. We get so focused on striking and being in the right position, stuff like that. I went back into the wrestling room, college wrestling room, really good guys in there, and it's the pace and the mentality. It's different, and I'm after one or two practices, I'm like, okay, this is. I had a feeling come over me like this is what I need to be doing. A whole lot of stuff came back up in a positive way. Uh, and I started getting the first couple of practices. I was pretty rusty with my wrestling. I'm off timing and stuff like that. I just didn't have the pace, and then I kind of got a hang of it again. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I can do this. This is what got me to the UFC. This is what made my MMA career. And a lot of it, wrestling, it's a lot of the mentality that I had lost. Got into the MMA stuff, and that's taking breaks during rounds and just not really going for it every opportunity that you get. And that's kind of what wrestling is. It's a grind. They go until the whistle blows.
So you're saying we're going to see an improved wrestling pedigree from you in this upcoming fight?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um, Wrestling is pretty on point right now, and it's getting better. We still have a little over a month before the fight. Uh, Conditions getting better too. I got another mountain or two to climb that'll help, and then of course we're staying on our typical scheduling in camp and doing the strength and conditioning, the sparring, and the drilling, and it's just going really good, and I'm feeling really good. It's the best I've felt in a while, and I had to take a little step back and see what was going on with my mind, um, and trying to figure out how to make it work.
That's awesome, man. And I wanted to ask you too about that matchup with Curtis Blades and Jelton Almeida. I've never had the opportunity to interview Blades, but he seems like a super nice guy. What is it like training with him? How's he looking in camp, and what do you think we're going to see in that matchup?
Kurt's is looking really good. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. He's he moves well. He's got good cardio. Um, and yeah, he's hard to deal with for sure. And I think he's really gonna take it to Almeida. I don't think Almeida's seen a guy that can has Curtis his skill set, that can move, that's not just gonna lay in on the bottom mount for a whole fight or something like that. Um, so it's a different animal that Almeida is about to see.
Yeah, I have to imagine, going round after round with him after a while. I mean, talk about building your cardio up. That going with that guy's got to get the cardio top notch.
100%, 100%. And that's kind of the whole room. We work really hard, and we're pretty close as teammates and stuff like that. So it's Zach Puega. Me and him are fighting the same night, and so I've been at this camp for about 2 years, and me and Zach, we gel pretty well. Just both light heavyweights and just wanting to get better, wanting to win. Totally two different people, but it's something that works. So we got a good team around us, and Cody Donovan, one of our coaches, and Vinny Lopez, the other coach. They've done a phenomenal job with us and getting us to be that tight unit that is gonna fuck shit up.
That's awesome.
And we're really getting there.
Do you still have Vanilla Thunder around you?
Oh, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was out today, but he'll be back in. He just won a big fight too over in Thailand, I think, or was
Yeah,
he in Thailand? I think, or
I think it was.
somewhere like that. He had a good fight and had a good time. So that definitely a character, but hell of a fighter though. Talk about a wrestler, yeah, man. He's a great wrestler too, great hips, and he's made a really good transition to the MMA using his strikes. He hits hard. So yeah, we definitely have killers on the team, and it's a great environment.
Yeah, man. No doubt about it. Let's talk about this upcoming matchup, shall we? February the 10th, UFC Vegas 86. You're taking on Marcin Prachnio. Got a lot of tape on this guy. He's got a lot of TKO victories. I think it's 11 in his professional career. So he's got a
Yeah,
lot of power. When you look at him and what he brings, from a skill set standpoint, what do you expect in this fight? Where do you need to kind of play to get yourself the best chance of victory here?
Well, he claims to be like a karate guy. So that's cool. He likes to kick, stuff like that. Um, yeah, I just do me. I'm just doing me. I can't give too much away, but that wrestling is definitely going to be in there. Big. He's not much of a wrestler. He's not much of a ground guy. He's good at getting back to his guard and stuff like that. Um, but that's something I'm going to test with him. I'm going to definitely test my wrestling on him to see if he can handle it. Um, if not, it's a fight. It's a fight. That's my favorite thing about fights. I can sit on here and say whatever I want. I'm going to wrestle him. I'm going to box him. I'm going to kick him. He could say the same thing. It's whatever happens is going to happen. But if I had to bet on it, I'm going to take him down and whoop his ass.
Yeah, I was going to say too, because I'm sure you're fully confident in your stand-up skill set. You could stand and trade with this guy, but the
Mhm.
safest route to a victory might be just to take him to the ground and kind of big brother him and bully him. Does that make the most sense to you? Sounds like it.
That's the most dominant route. Um, that's I got in the UFC with my wrestling. Um, Everybody I went against, they knew my wrestling was coming. They could not stop it. Um, and and like I said, I started wrestling again. The little fire sparked up, and good luck to him. I mean, that's all I got to really. It is what it is. I'm going to wrestle him. I'm going to fight him. I'm going to beat his ass. It's going to be a pretty dominant fight if I do what I need to do. And that's just be me, be that Devin Clark wrestler guy, a little bit wild, but it's here when I get going. I just need to keep going, have that confidence, and like I said, that's what got me here. That's what's going to keep me here.
How is Prachnio's jiu-jitsu? Like, do you got to be really concerned if you're on top and you're landing some ground and pound? Like, is his jiu-jitsu sneaky, or are you not as worried about that?
I'm not as worried about that, but like you saw in the last fight, it's always a thing. If I put my head in the wrong spot, you can go for that choke, you might get it, stuff like that. Uh, but Cody Donovan and Foster Bailey out here, they're my jujitsu coaches, and we work a lot, and we work with really good people. I don't see it being too much of an issue as long as I stay focused.
All right. Official prediction. Does this go to the judges, or you getting them out of there?
I'm not gonna make a prediction on it. I don't really care. I just want to win, and I want to win dominantly. That's my thing right now. I want to win dominantly. Dominantly. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I know I'm gonna show up and fight. I'm gonna fight, and I'm gonna have fun doing it. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Super Bowl weekend, even. Um, so yeah, plenty of distractions.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get the job done. I feel really good about it. I've been really working really hard. I've made some changes, and I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for this fight and future fights, and get my way to the belt. Um, that's and like I said before, I had to take a step back. Like, what do I really want to do here? Am I just a journeyman fighter? Do I just want to fight, make some money? But no, I still want to win. I still want to be a champion. I still think I can be a champion. But that wasn't going to happen if I didn't make any changes. And I've made some changes. They're going well.
Love hearing that, man. Can't wait to see you back in there again. UFC Vegas 86, February the 10th. Before we sign off, give me a an early Super Bowl prediction. Who do you think makes it, and who gets the job done?
Oh, I don't. See, I'm
Do you
not much of a football fan.
you're
I like
not
the Chiefs.
okay? I
No, I
thought you
don't
followed
watch
it a
many
little bit.
sports. What's that?
I thought you followed the NFL a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong then.
Just like on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
And my wife, she likes to watch football a little bit, so we'll watch like the Vikings. She's a Vikings fan. And we like the Chiefs as well. So we'll watch a Chiefs game or a Vikings game, but kind of outside that, it's got to be a kind of a big game or something like that. But I don't know if the Chiefs are going to make it this year. It looks like they're not doing very well.
Yeah.
Um, Cowboys maybe. I don't.
I think it's going to be 49ers Ravens. That's what I think makes the most sense.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take your word on it because I have no idea.
Okay, well, fair enough. Had to ask, man. Well, listen, Devin, always great talking to you, my man.
As
Before
well.
we get out of here, I want to give you the floor. Anyone you want to thank, anything you want to plug, floor is yours.
Yeah, just everybody that follows me, especially everybody from South Dakota. That's my home state, Sioux Falls, Harrisburg, South Dakota. And Dakota Herb. They're one of my sponsors in South Dakota, getting that medical marijuana going. So that's a big movement in South Dakota right now, and hopefully we can get recreational legal too. Um, but yeah, shout out to Dakota Herb in South Dakota. They're my people there.